DPA YouTube Battalion, attention! Finger or mouse on the like. Press like button. Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for day 73 and 74, which is for the 7th and 8th May. And before I start, I want to share with you guys, Defense Politics Asia have a Patreon, which is actually at patreon.com/defensepoliticsasia. You can actually find the link in the description below. And the latest video that I created, which I kept forgetting to advertise, is actually on the OSCE 2016 report on war crimes in Ukraine in 2014 during the Civil War period. So this is a really boring and dry video. If you like dry stuff, you can actually join the Patreon and give me your hard-earned money, and you can actually watch this really soul-sucking video. So that aside, and in case you don't understand what I said before the intro sequence, yeah, just press the like button. So now a lot of things has happened. Actually, I wanted to do the summary yesterday, but I had to go out, so I don't really have time. So it's Mother's Day yesterday, so happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers around the world. And I condolences to those that has lost their son and daughter, especially in this war, and also condolences to those that have lost your mother. So yeah, still happy Mother's Day. And I think today is Victory Day, right? So a happy Victory Day to those that celebrate Victory Day. We don't celebrate that in Singapore. But I think those that, especially in in previous Soviet territory, I think you guys are celebrating, and hopefully you guys don't feel so painful because of this war, because it's really kind of like messed up the history, and people is now rewriting history as we speak. So now a lot of things has happened. I'm not going to cover the Snake Island first. I'll leave that to the last because there's a lot to talk about that, and it will be actually on top of what I've already covered in the 2 quick updates for this. So start off with missile strikes. A lot of missile strikes. Russia have struck the airbase at Aziz. This is actually in Odessa Oblast. They actually strike it twice. So the first time they strike it to destroy air aviation equipment, including UAV. And then they actually strike it again, which is destroying a communication hub. So that airbase really got struck twice. They really hate it, and they're not sure if it has any relations to the actions over here at Snake Island, at Zimine Island. The Russia also airstrike on Dashny, where they destroyed this. So they destroy ammunition and fuel depot, and they also airstrike the Odessa airport for the don't know X number of times. Also is to target Air Force and the UAV, and they also strike the air base at Voznesensk. And there's a saying by some Russian analysts that these strikes are actually directly related to the Ukrainian operation over at the Zimine Island or the Snake Island, because the aircraft after their operation actually flew back towards these 3 airbase, and that's why they got struck. But of course, that's the theory. So I'm not going to read too much into that. The Russians strike the railway station at Bohodukhiv. So is this This is the train station at Bohoduhiv. So the target is actually military equipments from USA and Europe. They also strike the railway station at Kalivka, as well as at Krasnohrad. All of these are targeting weapon delivery from Europe and US. They also strike one that is really close to the front line at Soledar, and this strike more than just weapons and military equipments from the west, but also personnel of the reserve unit in the armed forces of Ukraine. So basically, these are reinforcements that arrive all the way through the entire of Ukraine to come here just to die. So a bit depressing, if you ask me. So let's go to next. We shall go to Mykolaiv front. There is no update and changes to Mykolaiv region. I tried to search, but it seems rather quiet at this juncture. There's also no change at the Kryvyi Rih front. So which is why you see there's this marker, because I was researching on this place. I didn't really find anything. Not even sure if there's actually fighting at all. Moving on to the Zaporizhia line. Fighting continues all along this line, like literally all along the line, but there is no breakthrough. It seems like it's just a skirmish along all the entire line without a real massive offensive or push. So that's that. Then let's go to Mariupol. So in Mariupol, there's some news. That 50 civilians evacuated, including 11 children. This is from a Russian source, pro-Russian source. And then we have official announcement from the Ukrainian side. The Deputy Prime Minister Irina Vereshchuk has said that all women, children, and elderly are now evacuated from Azovstal. And this is also replicated in Washington Post, we can actually see. And then they say that this part of the Mariupol humanitarian operation has been completed. And Ukrainian fighters are still continue to be entrenched within this position, within the plant. Sorry. And then we have also the Russians, on the Russian side, corroborating all this information as well. So this is the full statement by the Russian Ministry of Defense. They say that thank you for the active participation from UN as well as Red Cross, International Red Cross. They have completed the evacuation of civilians from Azovstal. So 51. So according to the Russian, it's actually 51. 18 men, 22 women, and 11 children, and were rescued on the 5th of May, and then there's including one that's actually on May 7th. So maybe the 50 versus 51, that one person is actually a later information. So of course, they also, as the Russians always say, they are provided with medical and psychological assistance, and they are going to temporary accommodations before they get to choose where they want to head to stay at the Russian side or actually go to the Ukrainian side. And so this is not a good news in a way for the Ukrainian forces here, because then the Russians have no more reasons to hold back because there's no more civilians. However, this also spell how ridiculous some of the intel and information that's coming out from this region. For example, we were told there's 1,000 civilians. There's no 1,000 civilians. There's not even 500 civilians. And from the information that we have gathered since previous summaries and this, is not even 200 civilians. So this is rather peculiar. So not sure why is the numbers so far apart. Sorry. And so then we have journalists. So we have this very dramatic video from, I believe they are from the DPR media team, that they actually took a speedboat going out from here go one big round and then come back here just to land here. Which I find that a little funny. They might as well just drive over, but they need to do something so dramatic as to like take the boat. So maybe they know, maybe there's no way to go past this wall here, so which is why they have to like land here. So let me show you. No, okay, yeah, so I just gonna show you quickly. They are on this boat. They now travel. This is the sand dunes, sand mountains. There is a at the Azovstal desert. So you see they actually travel outwards, then they actually landed at this wall here, which they could have just drive perfectly fine there, but they don't. They because this is more dramatic. You can also notice the DPR flag over there, and it's a cool video though. No dubbing that. Just find kind of funny that they can't drive there. So, and in the follow-up videos, they actually try to climb up I think one of these hills or mountain here, because the claim was that any gentler slopes are actually areas that they can be ambushed or attacked. So they decided to go on the hard way by climbing all the way up on the steep side. So that's that. And but with this, we can be assured that in the 1 kilometer range, there's unlikely to be Ukrainian forces actually. They are not going to risk a media team in that way. So, and if they are covering all the way to here, I don't think there's any more Ukrainian forces here, which is why, because if there's any Ukrainian forces here, their boats would have been attacked, probably. So this side, at least we know this part of this Azovstal desert, which is what I call it, is cleared of Ukrainian forces. And then we have another video by CTGN. So the CTGN, they are shooting this from a distance, and then they talk about what is happening. So they are standing and then are really hiding and very concerned about Ukrainian snipers and everything. And I'm not sure if they are exaggerating or just acting in front of the camera, but that gives us as well as a 1 kilometer range. However, as this is a war zone, I'm not going to like take the chances. So there's around 500 meters distance that at least this part there's definitely no Ukrainians, but beyond the 500-meter marks there might be. But so the influence of the Russians are around 1 kilometer, but we are not so sure what is the actual distance, but this is a good gauge. And then of course you have your a favorite for a number of you guys, which is the Patrick Lancaster. So on the 7th May 7th video, they actually were traveling down this road. So in case you're not sure where they are, so he was he was saying that we are now in Azovstal kind of thing, and then they actually driving down this road, and then in the end after that they turned in, and then he started filming here. So this area is what he called the pumping station. They probably pump water from this place into the plant, and there is this two kind of a lake kind of thing, or a water container kind of thing, and then they continue to film at this auxiliary plant, where he claimed that this is a supporting place, a place that supports the operation of Azovstal. At first I thought it was somewhere much further, and then after some time I realized it's just here. So I geolocated this myself. So I can show you a bit of this. So this is the pipeline, and then they are driving along this dirt-like road, and then they turn into this area, and then so this is actually this part. So they drive along down this road. So it was a very long conversation that he had while on the car, and I actually followed them all the way with the correct turns, and then they actually stopped here. So at this is where I talk about the container of the water. So he was walking around and taking footages within this building here, around this area. Then after that, he went into this slightly different looking building where there is these heavy vehicles. So this is actually this building over here. And then after that, he went out. After that, he walked out around here, and you can see this shed around here. This shed behind. This shed is actually there's a shed here. You cannot see because of this pink color gradient, but there's actually a shed here. So he was at this gate here, peeping out, saying that there are snipers out there. It's actually probably around this area here. So this is actually quite a distance away from the front line. So oops. Oh, let me control. So it's actually quite a distance from the front line, more than far away from safe distance. So the claim that snipers might hit him is a bit exaggerating, unless they are shooting from around 2 kilometers away, which is actually too far, very, very far, even for a sniper. So it's not actually very practical. So he's just, in my opinion, is a bit of an exaggeration. So that's for Mariupol. Moving to Donetsk front. On the Donetsk front, the Ukrainian forces have this breakthrough. What happened to my map? Let me refresh. F5. Yep. So, oh my god, okay, never mind. So yeah, so the Ukrainian forces have captured this area. Vuleda seems to have been captured because there is this reports of how the Russians are hitting it with artillery and airstrikes, and then also the Ukrainian forces, according to some unconfirmed report, which I think is likely to be correct, this posted by UA Wire on Twitter, that they have captured Milkivsky, Halivka, and Yohorivka. So this capture might indicate that the forces around here on the DPR side is on the low side. That means there's not really enough troops holding this area. Maybe they are all very busy being sent to other fronts, and the forces that are left behind to hold the positions are not strong enough to hold against a offensive force. Because if the Ukrainians were to do an offensive to attack, they probably will mass a good number of troops before they do it, and they probably overrun the positions around this area. So this continues to deteriorate for the DPR and Russian forces in this area, as they continue to struggle to break through this defense line here, and they continue to lose positions. After losing the Marinka, the Russians are probably holding only like 5% or even lesser by now. Now there's this breakthrough around here. So who knows? Maybe they'll rush all the way to Mariupol. Never say never, because I don't think there's Russian forces gathering around all these areas in good numbers, because like Volnovakha and all these places have already been liberated according to the Russians, and they have already moved on to other fronts. So with this push, the Russian and DPR forces will be forced to draw forces away from some of the other fronts to come back here to protect Volnovakha. Because losing Volnovakha then will be another disaster again. Then this will be Mariupol number 3 or 4 already. So moving further north, there is no update in the Avdiivka area. No update in the Novoselivka area. No update in the Holivka area. And then now we are into Luhansk front. In the Luhansk front, the biggest news is the capture of Popasna. The Russian forces have captured Popasna, and this is reported as per the last 2 quick updates that I have done. So the details, I will not go into it. You can actually go and watch the quick update. You see all my front lines are all lost. So yeah, so this is the front line now, and it's actually corroborated by a press that is on the ground. So that's Popasna. And then Zolote. So I have pulled back the this border here. So you see all my updates are gone. So there's the problem with so I previously thought that Zolote has been captured by the Russian forces. End up this information is not correct. So apparently prior to the war, the DPR actually holds Zolote 5. So Zolote is actually 5 different small towns or village that was then combined together and called Zolote. Each of them have their own name. For example, this is called Maryivka, this is called Partizanske, this is called Stahokhanovet, and this is Rodina, as well as Karbonite, before you cross this side into Herske. So all these 5 was then rezoned into a single location called Zolote, and then each of them are given a number. So from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4 is actually controlled by the Ukrainian forces before the war, and the DPR controls 5, Zolote 5. So the situation now is that the Russians are now trying to attack Zolote 4, and there is heavy bombardment on Zolote 4. So if you see these black markers when you go to the map, this is probably a good way to at least acquaint ourselves of this very unique geography in this region. So now only Zolote 5 is under Russian control. All these other part of this city is not. In terms of all these former fortifications, all these trench positions, you can see all these trenches positions, is unclear if they are now under Russian or under Ukrainian control. So take a pinch of salt of this bulge here, or this salient, whatever you want to call it here. So just keep a pinch of salt. Maybe this is all Russian control. It's possible. Moving on, I know many of you guys are very confused by this Svelishnoye. So the Russian forces have announced, or at least according to the Chechens, that the Svelishnoye has been captured by Russian forces, or the Luhansk People's Republic forces. And I know you guys cannot find it on the map. It's actually this town that is actually not labeled on Google Map. So Svelishnoye, and then previously I made a mistake. I thought Svelishnoye is actually another name for Nizhny, which is why I set Nizhny as captured by the Russian forces. Then after this news came out, and then after that there's news that they were attacking Nizhny. Then I went to make sure I search again on this again, because the last time I searched, I thought this part of Nizhny, because it was indicated around here, the geolocation of this town, and I thought that this is actually one town, because there's only one name on the Google map, right? Then after that I realized that actually Velishnoye is actually just this part. So which means the Russian forces have captured this. Actually, they have captured this for some time already. Actually, it somehow just got interested, and it got advertised again, and then they actually captured Nizhny as well. Quickly after the next day. So now this is now double confirmed. This intel here that the Russian forces are actually controlling Nizhny. The attack is now into Torkishka. Oh my god, where all my borders are gone. So they are now attacking Toshkivka. So this, according to this information, Russian forces entered Toshkivka. We are not sure at this current moment if the Ukrainian forces is putting up a fight in this area. So it's not so clear because the word they use is entered, and sometimes when they use the word enter, it means capture. So this is actually by aggregate OSINT, so not sure. But you can see there's actually a major defense line, major fortification around here, and there's also a extremely long trench line, super long trench line around this area, and there's another defensive fortification in this entire forested area. But this is as I said before, this is information that is before the war, and it's not sure how many years old is this. And some people are saying that, oh, the dates are here. This is not the date. This is the copyright. This is the Google Maps copyright. This is not the date of the mapping. If you notice the map, this is one satellite image. This is one satellite image. Look at the difference in color of the same field. So this is not the indication for when this satellite image is actually taken. So we don't know when it is taken. So that's that. We will continue to monitor Toshkivka. Moving on, the Russian forces have captured Borivsky. This is according to this tweet by Sergeant Tavka. And I'm sorry, I have to change this front line or border on the fly because all my changes have disappeared. This is a problem with the updating that I have to face with. So they have taken Borivsky, and the latest information also suggests that the Russian and LPR forces have captured the Zarya Plan region, which is the remaining region in Robizny. So I'm not sure if this part also is captured by the Russian and LPR forces, but I'm gonna be conservative and I'm gonna put the border as such. So we'll move this front line down here, and this will indicate the capture of this Zarya Plan around Rubizny. There is also some intel about changing hands of Vojevodivka several times, but this guy is the only one that mentioned about this as well, which means the Ukrainians might be trying to fight for this position, and but at this moment, as far as my understanding goes, it is still firmly under the Ukrainian control. So fighting is reported at Novodruzhsk. So there's this video that is taken in Novodruzhsk. You can actually go to the map to actually click on this link, where the person is actually hiding within his home garden compound, and then there's a lot of sound of fighting around the region. And then there is also fighting continuing at Privilia since the 2nd of May. So I have added the dates according to one of the comments in the YouTube comments asking me to put the date so that you guys can actually track the fighting, how long it has been taking. So I have added this information. So fighting is also reported at Shapilivka now. This is 7th of May. This is a new information, and of course the fighting at Bilohorivka continue. So, and then there is also information that is fighting at Sebryanka, which is also something new. So we have all the major towns, almost all the major towns around this entire region, around where the forest is actually north of it, all getting attacked all at the same time. So this is looks like a major push here by the Russian side. So as you can see, with this push here and this push here, as well as the capture of Popasna, this looks like a possible attempt to do a pincer movement to cut off the entire force that is around Severodonetsk and Lysychansk. There is this rumor on Twitter that the Ukrainian forces, a brigade worth of them, has withdrawn from Lysychansk. However, I cannot corroborate this information, so I'm just gonna tell you here in this video that there is this rumor of a retreat. However, the retreat only mentioned Lysychansk. There's no mention of Severodonetsk. There's no mention of Lubizny. So we can take a pinch of salt about that, because if they withdraw here and left the soldiers that is at Severodonetsk unsupported, then this is going to be another situation like Mariupol. So this Luhansk front. Going on to Izium front. There is no updates on Ozene since the 5th of May. Not sure why is it so hard to capture this small little town here. So, and then there is no other further updates on Liman. So Liman also seems to be really hard to settle. There is this, however, the Russians have captured Seredje or Seredne. So leaving this little pocket at Kapivka. Not sure if there's actually any Ukrainian forces actually here. On the 28th of April, they are still there, but now it has been around more than a week, and we have no idea if there's still any more forces trapped in this pocket or this encirclement in here. Fighting continues to rage at Sosnov and Yarova. So no update about this, other than there's major fighting. So Russians also, they were attacking Drobyshev since 28th of April, in case I haven't said that. So I forgot to date all this. No news regarding this trap force, although the fire here continues to burn. Not sure what kind of forest fire or fire is that continues to burn for so long. I checked the fire map, this part is still burning. This entire region has no update except for this this chatter. This chatter that there's fighting on the outskirts of Bavinkov. So this is not the only guy that mentioned this, but you know, on this part at least they say hot remains in Izium direction on the outskirts of Bavinkov fighting. The enemy is trying to attack the position of the armed forces of Ukraine, but bears heavy losses. I think you can also find this information on Twitter as well, that there is some fighting on the outskirts of Bavinkov. However, this is very vague, and we're just gonna keep a lookout for this. However, there is also a Sukhoi 25 getting shot down at Pohonivka. So Pohonivka is here. So, which means the Ukrainians continue to have ground attack support aircraft flying around this region to help out in the fighting. So now I really wonder how much aircraft do the Ukrainians have. Of course, the pro-Ukrainian crowd is saying that Russians are lying. So maybe this is just another ghost aircraft. No idea. So that's the Izium front. Really nothing changes in terms of the Izium front. So coming to the Kharkiv front. On the Kharkiv front at Skovorodivka, according to the Defense Ministry of Russia brief information, the report said that the Russian Air Force strike this area. See, is this the correct one? Yeah.
2 control points. So Army Aviation strike 18 military vehicles. Among them is 2 control points at Skovorodnikovo, which is this. So that maybe there's some tactical HQ around this area that got struck. Let's take a closer look. It's just a small town, so maybe there's some encampment around here that got struck. Not so sure. I think I reported this. So there's no changes in the updates here, except for here. So Sekuny has been captured by the Ukrainian forces. Let's move the border. So they have captured, the Ukrainians finally captured this. However, there is no information about Cherkasy Tishki, whether the Ukrainians have captured it. However, the Ukrainians are evacuating civilians from this town here. So, interesting to me, because why don't you evacuate them much earlier? So, there is no changes to the front line in this area. That means maybe there is this operational pause because the Ukrainians now suddenly capture a lot of ground and they need to consolidate. So maybe this offensive operation have to hold for a while as they catch up with the supply line. And we're not sure. Currently, there's still no information about Pischansk, as well as Mikhailivka, Ukrainsky, or Petrivka. This area is still a question mark. So if this road is open for the Ukrainians, and then that will at least make the resupply and reinforcement much easier rather than going one big round. So I think I have covered everything around the front line. So now let's go to Sevastopol. Some of you has been asking me about the Admiral Makarov frigate. So if you have seen the quick update, okay, so there's a photo that came out from the Russian side that shows the ship is safe and sound. You can actually go and watch a quick update about that, about this as well. So there's only one photo. Is to me, it's not very conclusive. However, the Ukrainian presidential advisor actually declared that the vessel is actually not sunk. He said that it's actually a misunderstanding. I also showed the YouTube video of this live stream, this part of the live stream where he declared that. You can actually go and watch a quick update on this. So I'm not going to waste more time on that. So the conclusion is Admiral Makarov is not sunk. However, this does not mean that the ship is not damaged. Maybe it's actually damaged. It maybe hit a mine, maybe struck by a missile, but it's not sunk. So now down to this Snake Island. So if you watch so I'm not going to rehash too much on what I've already reported on the last two quick update on the Snake Island. So I just want to add a bit of additional information that came out since the update. The Russians reported on the 8th May 7 p.m. Report that there's another Bayraktar TB2 get shot down in this island area, and then they double down and saying that during the night they destroyed 2 more Sukhoi 24s and 1 more Mi-24, which is a Hind helicopter, over the island, and they also shot down 1 Bayraktar TB2 near Odessa, so it's further away. So so inclusive of the one that I've mentioned in the quick update here, they have concluded that in a total of 4 Ukrainian aircraft, 4 helicopters, including 3 paratroopers on board, and 3 TB2s and 1 Ukrainian amphibious assault boat has been destroyed on this major assault. Reported major assault on the Snake Island. This is by the Russians. So you don't believe them, but this is what the Russians report. Technically, they have doubled down on it, despite a lot of people say, oh, this did not happen. So there is this new video that I think you may or may not have seen.
So that is that sound? Okay, that's not sound good. So this is a helicopter. You can see there is soldiers here, 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 here. I'm not sure if this is a soldier. And then there's a soldier taking things out of the helicopters. 1, 2, 3. And then they got struck by a huge explosion. And then someone is running there, seemingly. And this video went viral. And then finger pointing started again. The Ukrainian pointing at Russians, saying that this is a Russian helicopter, and then the Russians saying that this is a Ukrainian helicopter. I'm talking about the pro-Russian and pro-Ukrainian views. I'm not talking about the governments. Yeah, this special effect is because they played some music and make it like a party thing. So the Ukrainians say that because this footage actually from a Bayraktar TB2, so they say that they have destroyed the Russian helicopter. The location is around here, around this position. So however the Russians, some of the pro-Russian analysts say that this is actually a lie. They say that this is actually the recording by the Bayraktar on the landing of Ukrainian forces. So they are actually using the Bayraktar to maybe record the landing of the Ukrainian forces, and then they're trying to observe what they are doing, and then there's an explosion came out. And then since they have this footage, they just say that this is a Russian helicopter and say it's not a Ukrainian helicopter. So that is what happened. You can believe whatever you want. To be honest, based on the footage alone, you can't really tell whose helicopter is that, because they used this infra camera and or the infrared filter, and it's not possible to tell. So based on and then there is this new satellite image from AP. They actually kind of numbered what happened. So they have this wreckage of this Cerna class landing craft. Then this is where the Tor M1 SAM is hit. Number 2 and 3 is both the location struck by the Sukhoi 27s of the Ukrainians. And then there is this number 4, which is where the helicopter got struck, which is probably around this area. And then someone came up with something better, which is this. And this marking is much better, and they actually gave the date. So 30th of April, Strela 10 and the Zu-23 is destroyed. Both are, I think, it's in the aircraft. And then 2nd May, 2 patrol boats are destroyed. 6 May, which is the one at here, the Tor M1 is destroyed. And then on 7 May, they hit the landing craft, which is here. And then the airstrike came. And then they have this helicopter strike, which I just showed you, which is here. And then another 2 patrol boats seems to be destroyed, but all these are question marks. So this is a rundown. So my personal feeling, so I do not really know what is the real truth, because in terms of the helicopter, and according to whether if there is actually a Ukrainian landing or attempt to capture the island. So I can only base on the facts and actually analyze what could be the truth. Firstly, is the location of the helicopter landing. There's a perfectly fine helipad to use here, and then this ground is perfectly flat. They could have landed around here so that they don't need to run so far to save their things or to help out people that are injured. It's not necessary to be this far away. So how far is this? It's around 200 meters, and to this point is around 400 meters. So it's not exactly super far, but it's also not super near. Although there's a helipad they can use here, they can probably land here.
So they don't know. They actually landed here. So if we're going to consider the theory of it's a Ukrainian land assault, then this landing is Ukrainian troops, it makes a lot of sense to land here, because you want to push and sweep through the entire island from one end to another end, rather than you go into the middle and then got crossfired on both sides. So this is a possibility. Of course, the Russians could perfectly use this place to land. Of course, there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying that in terms of an operational point of view, this makes sense if it's offensive. And I don't have much to argue about the imagery of the Petrocraft getting struck. However, is the entire premise of why the Ukrainians have to send even the fighter jets here, and send in the drones here, because as you guys have mentioned, there's no it's not possible to hold the island. So in terms of strategic objective, if it's not very useful to capture the island unless you have long range missiles to base here. But even if you base it here, then you will still be just an open target for Russian missiles as well. So it's a huge question mark, of course, in terms of the Russian theory that the Ukrainians want to capture this island, unless the purpose is to create this information soundbite of the Ukrainians recapturing the significant Snake Island, which is rather famous due to the F-off vulgar language calling of by the guards here towards the Russian Navy. So capturing this on Victory Day, or just before Victory Day, would become a huge humiliation for the Russian side, and probably that is a good motivation to do it, willing to risk flying aircraft into this area. However, while I mentioned that maybe it's very high risk for the aircraft to come here because of the Russian Navy, but if you look at the satellite imagery, is this the one? No, not this one. If you look at the satellite imagery, there isn't let me find out a better one. So this is the big satellite image. There isn't really a contrail like this here. We cannot really see the fighters, the Ukrainian fighters around here, and there is the two boats that is driving away. Oh my god! And you have these two patrol boats driving away from this location. So based on the just now that satellite image as well, based on this one, there is also no signs of Navy or major Russian Navy ships around this area. It doesn't seem like it. I saw another better image of this, which is much bigger. I can't find it now. It doesn't seem like the Russian Navy is around here. So this aircraft might be a strike aircraft that maybe targeted something, and then maybe the Ukrainian patrol boats are running away. Maybe. But another thing also to say to talk about is that the helicopter, if let's say they are Russians, why are they flying to this area without naval air defense support, when you already know that this area is now under the control of the Ukrainian Air Force? So this area is already now enemy airspace because of the Bayraktar TB2 as well as a fighter aircraft. And if there is no Russian Navy around this area, then it's extremely risky for the Russian helicopter to actually fly in. And let's say if they are to fly in, why are they doing an all-round defense when they landed, when this is supposedly their territory and there's not supposed to be any enemy forces around there? Which is why I also question the location of the landing, why they don't land somewhere nearer. And why is it a hot landing? The helicopter did not stop its engine, and they have this all-round defense, and they are actually unloading. So because my first opinion was that it was a medevac, but then they carry things out, and then they have this all-round defense, and then they are so far away from potential casualties. So there is a lot of question mark about all these things. So I just want to share all this perspective. You can make your own decision whether this is really a Russian operation or Ukrainian operation, or if that helicopter is actually a Russian helicopter or a Ukrainian helicopter. My opinion is that both, there is, regardless what happened actually, there is a major battle for this territory or this area or airspace of this island. And then it is not surprising to know that the Russian Air Force is engaging the Ukrainian Air Force around this airspace, and then the Ukrainians actually tries to take this island. There is no reason to hit this island so many times. For example, there's a video of the strike on this Tor SAM system. This Tor SAM system is not active because of the location where it is. You do not put your anti-aircraft vehicles beside a building, so it's likely it's not active yet. It's probably resting, or they just brought it in or something like that, and it got hit. And the range of this system is only 12 kilometers. So it's only like this. This is just the range. It's a really short range system. So to send in fighter jets and drones and to destroy these targets feels a lot like a huge risk, if you ask me, to hit something that is not going to threaten your operation in Odessa. So similarly, be it the Strela that was destroyed, be it the what is the other one that was destroyed? Let's see again. So be it is the Strela or the Zu-23, or be it the Tor M1, all these are all short range surface-to-air missile, and the Russians did not put any long-range missile in this island. None of the forces that is here is going to threaten the Odessa Oblast. So why take all the risk, even if it's just Bayraktar TB2? Why take the risk? Why send in the fighter jets in this region? Is it just simply because the Russian Navy is not around here, or could the Russian Navy be around and then they are taking this big risk? Or could they be actually taking out all the short-range missiles so that the helicopters can actually fly in to land their troops? There is so many possibilities, and so I don't think one should just dismiss the Russian theory or the Russian report that the Ukrainians are trying to land with the paratroopers or the airborne troops. I think there is good possibility that this is exactly what the Ukrainians are doing, because if you want to land troops in this area, the first thing you want to do is to destroy all the air defenses, especially the short range one, because the short range one are the dangerous one for the helicopters. So by destroying all of them, you can land your helicopters, you land your special force, they can sweep the island and can capture it. Once you capture it, you can actually announce to the world you have captured the Snake Island, and this will be a huge publicity or information war victory. And this sounds very, very possible. However, how the Russians managed to destroy so many aircrafts and one ship, as well as the helicopters, I'm really not too sure. Is it the Russians send in the Air Force, their fighter jets, to intercept all these aerial vehicles, or did they actually send in the Navy? I have no idea. Based on the last satellite image where you have the two contrails turning away, it doesn't look like there's actually any major naval ship, because usually you will have this line, this draft behind the ships. I forgot what's the word for it. So it usually ships when they travel is actually rather obvious on the satellite image. So it doesn't seem like that's the case. So even if the Ukrainians are all right. You know, they are smashing the Russians and giving them hell on Snake Island. The entire operation to give them hell don't make a lot of sense, because this island doesn't really threaten any forces around Odessa. It just doesn't. So to risk so many TB2s in this area and not send them to the Mykolaiv front to hit actual troops that can actually threaten you just don't make a lot of sense to me. So anyway, there's a corvette that was destroyed near Odessa, which is here, around here. So this was destroyed. So according to the Ministry of Defense of Russia, so you can actually ignore this again if you don't believe in the Russians report. But this is just my take on the Snake Island. I think what I can be sure is there's likely to be a fierce battle for this island, at least the airspace, and I just don't feel the Russians it makes any sense to send in a helicopter from Crimea into a contested airspace just to land your troops. That just don't make sense to me. If you want to send in a helicopter, you will want your navy to be around here to give protection, air defense protection for your helicopter. Then you send in a helicopter to land your troops, and then that drone might get shot down much faster if that's the case. So it's just a lot of things that don't make that much sense. So anyway, this is very draggy already. So anyway, this is the summary for the day of 73 and 74, 7 and 8 May. So very very renty, and this is probably the longest summary yet. So I'm not going to talk anymore, and I'll see you in the next update.